Hey, everybody. good evening, and happy Sunday to all of you. We have been good evening on level 10 all day today. Multiple services. Um, Came home. I changed immediately into my running attire because I told my best friend Leona that we made an agreement together that we were going to run a 5K before the year is out. So I came home, changed instantly into my running clothes, right? And then skedaddle out the door, been moving and shaking all day. I still have my good earrings on and a little bit of lip color from church today. Hey, everybody. Hi, Lude. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, however, whatever time it is for you where you live. Yeah, so it's been a day, right? It's totally been a day, but a really good one. Hubby preached second service, all the stuff. Okay. Hi, Stacy. Thank you so very much. I hope that you guys have had a blessed and restful Sunday thus far. We've been moving, but I fully plan after this live. I have talked to you guys about this very old, very sad blue blanket. Brown blanket that I have at my house, right? And when it's time to go to bed, when it's time to go to bed, homegirl breaks that joint out. Okay. And I'm in that thing like a burrito. Nobody, you hear me? Nobody whatsoever. I'm hot, y'all. I'm sorry. Nobody whatsoever is going to get me out of that thing. So that's what we do on Sunday nights, whatever day you have Sabbath. It's just what we do here at the Garrett house. They're out there watching a movie. I really didn't want to see the movie. That's me being transparent. I wanted to come back here and talk to my ladies. Okay. So tonight we're talking about self-awareness. If you are new here, if you haven't been here for a while, I am Christina Garrett. I am your productivity coach. I am the voice in the back of your mind reminding you that, sis, yes, you can. And on the days when you don't feel like you can come to the Momathon Diaries community, to the Facebook group, to the tribe, to the events. You can come to all these places and get what you need, okay? In order for you to show up and execute as the bombshell that you inevitably are. Okay. I have been honored for the last 10 years to support superstar mothers, ambitious moms around the globe with all the tools, strategies, tricks, and plans to help them get more done without burning out, to get more done without feeling overwhelmed, to help them to craft their schedules, their family lives, all of the things, right? In order to make sure that they can show up and change the world. I'll tell you guys something really amazing, right? Keep your eye out. We are going to have a article coming out soon about the Momathon conference for essence.com or the magazine, like one of the two. So you guys keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited. And the reason I brought that up was because I had to think about very intentionally what the conference meant to me. Okay. We hosted our annual event. It's our 8th year. We just completed our 8th year. We just hosted our 8th annual event in October. And y'all, it was such a momentous occasion, but I got to verbalize for myself what that event meant to me. And then, of course, how we relay that over again and again to the women that I am so honored to serve. Okay. And so tonight, if you have been trying to figure out how you're going to kill it this week, maybe you're sitting back and you're looking at your to-do list. You're looking at the myriad of things that you have going on, and you're trying to figure out when it's all going to happen. Maybe you are trying to figure out, how do I get my mind right, my soul right? Maybe you ran into the church today. You hear me? You ran up in there because you know that's exactly where you needed to be. That you are in the right place this evening, okay? You guys get to look at my non-fresh haircut, but I'm still cute, right? We're going to talk this evening about how to get it done, but 3 awareness shifts. 3 awareness shifts that you need to have as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, as a leader in order to show up like who you're supposed to be. In order for you to do all the things. in order for you to focus your mindset, your attention, your passion in a aligned direction. Who do I need to be to complete this? Who do I need to show up as in order to be that person that delivers on a consistent basis? Okay. And so as we just bring some things together. I want you guys to share this with a girlfriend, share this with your bestie, even your frenemy, right? The sister that when you guys are thinking about it, you're hashing those thoughts out, you're working through some things. That sister that you text when you're trying to figure out something, I want you to go ahead and send this video to her right now, okay? Because I'm going to go into 3 intentional awareness shifts that you need to go and hit in order to have a successful week. Okay. And I'm also going to be very honest with you guys tonight about how these showed up for me. Okay. And so I'm going to pull up some things, a couple of conference notes that I had that I shared with the ladies while we were there, because it really is key to making sure that we do the things that we need to do. Okay. If you guys don't know this, I have 5 children. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. Thank you. Thank you for taking notes, Janisha. Okay. If you guys don't know, I am a pastor's wife. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 incredible but very loud and talkative children. Okay. Now, listen, I know that I left for a couple of days in October. I know I've been doing a lot of moving and shaking, but y'all do not have to bombard me with the extra, right? Like, y'all don't have to play catch up with me. We can just be who we're going to be. All right. So, the moral of the story is, I too understand, okay? Just because I'm the productivity coach does not mean that my children do not be wild, and sometimes they do. I'm gonna tell you guys all about that, okay? So as we are talking awareness shifts, okay? Awareness shifts in order to have a successful week. Number 1, you have to be aware of your body. You got to be aware of your body. Okay. Now, I shared with you guys earlier, me and my best friend, Leona. Lou, tag Leona Atkins. If she may see this, she might not. But we've decided that we were going to run a 5K by the end of this year. Okay. And the idea behind that was I messaged her and I was like, Leona, I know why I haven't reached a fitness goal that I wanted to. And she said, what is it? I was like, I self-diagnosed myself. She said, what happened? Y'all, even though I've basically given up sort of kind of gluten, right, from my diet, I replaced gluten with French fries. Okay, I know. We talking about having a successful week. The first part of that has to be tell some truth. Okay, I replaced gluten with French fries. I was telling my husband, I was like, baby, how many bags of chips have I had? Right? Oh my God. Lou, can we be honest tonight? Being aware of your body. I told her, I said, I see now why I wasn't hitting certain goals, why my body wasn't feeling lighter. My skin wasn't like, it looks good on camera, but it's been like breaking out. And I'm like, what is going on in my body? Girl, you've been eating French fries and chips. What is happening? Have you lost your mind? You stopped with this one thing, but you replaced this one thing with something else. Okay? You replaced the one thing with something else. If we're going to be aware of ourselves, aware of our bodies, aware of what we need in this very human form, okay? It is what it is. Stacy said, listen, husband came home with eggnog, ice cream pops. It's always the husbands because they know they can just drink a glass of water and drop 15 pounds. Can't they, Stacy? They know it's true. Us, on the other hand, with these backwards hormones and these baby bodies, it's a thing. Can we this week have some goals that are aligned with what's the best I want from myself? Right? Like at one point in time, y'all, it's called Momathon for a reason. Because I'm a runner in my soul. It's not manifesting much right now in my body. So I decided I want that back. And if I'm going to go and get that back, what does that need to look like? How do I need to show up and deliver that? Okay? Are you aware of your body, the physical body you live in? Are you aware of that? Are you aware of how your body performs at its best so you know when it's not? Are you aware of that? Do you even know? Hey, Marche. I'm actually live. Are we even aware of our bodies enough to say this is normal? This is not normal. These are what my hormones are doing. Do we even know? Right? Are we even aware? Have you experienced your body at its best in order to know when it's not at its best? Miss Charlotte at the conference, she talked about getting blood work for ourselves as women, for our daughters. Once they start their cycles and all these things, like, do we know what normal hormonal levels look like? Good evening, y'all. Normal hormonal levels look like for our girls. So that as they get older, as they get older and grow up, they have something to compare it to. What? I have seen my body at its best. Physically living in it right now, I can feel like it's not. You see what I'm saying? I've experienced, boy, I ain't gonna go down the list, baby. Just know y'all gonna see her come back in 2024. Everybody got it? You got it? All right. Y'all gonna see some collarbone and probably crop tops going to church once we get it together. Okay? Are you aware of your body? Do we even know what feeling our best feels like? Where you feel light, you don't have pain, right? You know that you can fit into the clothes you love, right? Now, I'm not bad talking nobody because listen, the shapewear was shape wearing at the conference this year. It was delivered for your girl at the conference this year, right? I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. But I don't want to have to do that every single time. We're going to get this thing together. So that's one thing about knowing your body, okay? Another thing about knowing your body is going back to your hormonal levels. If y'all haven't shared this, share with a girlfriend, okay? Going back to your hormonal levels. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to be very candid. I came home yesterday. Me and my husband have been out all morning. Marche, I came in the door. Them children, I said what I said. Them children had dishes all over my desk, okay? Now, I don't mind them sitting there playing their games, doing whatever while I'm not using it, etc., etc. But baby, if you don't get that stuff up after you done, if you don't get that stuff up after you done, what's this one here doing? After you're finished, I walked, y'all. I'm being so honest right now. I walked in my den at my house, and I was this close. Like, you can't get. I was this close to cussing out my own kids. Hey, Leona, I was just talking about you, best friend. I was this close to cussing my children out. I felt it. It was boiling up in here. Y'all know I love the Lord with all my heart. I hasten to his throne. I love me some Jesus. I was lifting holy hands at the house of worship today. But yesterday, Leo, your niece and your nephews, they had stuff everywhere when I walked in the house. I said, no, wait a minute. And I felt some words that started with consonants coming up out of my spirit. I said, you know what? I need to go take a nap. I need to go lay down somewhere because the state of my mentality right now, I'm going to cuss my children out. I'm going in the back of their throat. Okay? It was like it was going to happen. It was coming out. Okay? I was like, y'all don't get this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. You know how to hold my tongue, right? Because I was about to go off on y'all's internet niece and nephews. Why y'all stuff everywhere? Why y'all doing this? You know what? I just need to go take a nap. And I literally put on a movie on my phone and I laid in my bed until sleep found me for like an hour and a half. And when I woke up, I exercised. I closed my door, right? And I just shut everything and everybody out. Here's what I want you all to hear about being aware of your body. Every single month, the week before, this is just grown woman talk. Every single month, the week before my cycle comes, I be wondering, not I wonder, I be wondering what's wrong with my whole family. Now, my husband usually gets a pass. Me and him are cool like that. But Leona, I was ready to straight up cuss my children. And I'm not even that kind of mama, y'all. I'm not that kind of mama. But yesterday, I was like, oh, y'all are all crazy. You must want to get you some. It was like, it was coming out. I was about to go, it was coming out. I said, I need to go take a nap. I need to go lay down. But every single month, the week before my cycle, I'm looking at all these jokers like, I don't like you today. And it's not that they do anything different than what they normally do. They're teenagers, they're kids. They be doing the things. And on most days, I have the grace to handle it. And on the days when I don't have the grace to handle it, I look at myself and I say, where did I fall off somewhere? Okay? That luteal phase. Where did I fall off somewhere? What's going on? Is there something different than normal? Some days my husband's like, baby, it's just you today. Like the kids aren't doing anything they don't normally do. You know what? You're right. You're right. It is me. I need to go take a nap and wake up and have a cup of coffee and exercise and walk around the block until I feel like seeing people again. Right? Like that's just what it is. But I'm aware enough of myself and of my body to go and do that. Okay? So know yourself. Be self-aware. Get this thing together. Right? So that you are somebody that can go back to that place and you know what's going on. Okay? You know what's happening. You're not all over the place. You actually get it. So number 1 today is to be aware of your body. Number 2, be aware of your time. Be aware of your time. One of my favorite podcasters, his name is David Shands. And if you don't watch the Social Proof podcast, it's a really great, listen. He interviews successful entrepreneurs from all over the place, yada, yada. And so he put up talking about how much time do you spend on Instagram, right? Like just Instagram on the app, right? How much time do you spend Netflix and chilling? How much time do you spend doom scrolling where you just go? Like y'all are learning something tonight. We're engaging in conversation, right? But other days we're not even doing nothing. We're not creating content. We're just consuming it, right? We're not actually being aware of where our hours are going, where they're leaking away, okay? I also want to highlight that, and I don't want to jump ahead, but I want to stay in this moment about being aware of your time. I also want to bring up the idea that sometimes we procrastinate strategically. It's like sometimes we know we're doing it, and that's not a bad thing. Like I'm putting this off until I can really focus on whatever. But then there are other times where we just aren't good time managers. Like our hours seep away, they leak away to all these other places, and we have absolutely no idea whatsoever. Oh my gosh, it's nighttime already? Oh my goodness, it's 8:30 already. What happened to my day? Where did it go? Did I do the things I said I was going to do? Or am I half showing up in multiple areas of my life? Is this what's going on? Am I losing track of my time? Now, listen, when we talk about imposter syndrome, and we did a little bit of this talking at the conference, imposter syndrome shows up in 4 ways. Procrastination is just one of them. It's procrastination, people pleasing, paralysis, like you just feel stuck. And then what is the other one? Oh, perfectionism. So we got procrastination, perfectionism, people pleasing, and paralysis, where you might get an amazing download sitting here at this live tonight while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. but do you take it and you go and implement? Do you take it and run with it? Or are you somebody that I got to think on it for a while? I need to pray about it for a little longer. Let me go talk to so-and-so about it. Let me go get my opinion validated, my thought validated by someone else. That could be a sign of people pleasing and perfectionism. Am I right? Times in our lives where we lean so much into everything external that we're not mindful of what's happening internally. Where are we in this place? Where are we located in this season of our life where we're always reaching outward, always looking outward, trying to catch up? So when we have time management, right, as a challenge, what if I'm more aware of myself as I manage my time? What if I am more conscious of the big things that are coming for my future? So I'm going to do more of the things that matter the most. That might be spending time with your family, right? That might be working on your business. That might be slowing down and tackling that corner of your house is driving you crazy. What is it that you need to lean into focus on? Okay. So Janisha says, I'm doing so much better with I'll do it later. I stop and do it right then more often than not now. That is an amazing level up, right? Like I actually see myself doing that. I've been talking with one of my clients who she is very ambitious, right? She's very ambitious. And she's like, okay, these are all the things. Because we talked about all the things, I want to go do all the things. And I'm like, but hold on. Wait a minute. I don't want you to overwhelm yourself so much that you're trying to fit in every podcast interview, every media opportunity, every interview, all the things, right? Like now we feel like I need to do all the things in order to make sure that I become the her. Whoever that her is, like I want to become the her. And if we're balancing our time, we're looking at how we're going to manipulate our hours, everybody gets the same amount. But if you're feeling like I'm behind in some way, this is really for you. Okay. With this same client, we talked a lot about being behind versus being off track. Okay. Being behind versus being off track. And as we leaned into this idea, I wanted to show her, paint the picture for her about what it feels like to run to catch up. Almost as if you are like you missed the bus, right? Like I'm from DC. When you miss the bus and another one's not coming for like 45 minutes, baby, you're gonna run after that bus. You're gonna take off and you're gonna hit the side of the bus when it gets to the stop sign because you don't want to miss your ride home. Okay, you don't want to miss your ride home. So you get there, you are running, trying to catch up to the next thing. Okay. Versus when you are driving. Okay. Then we're talking about time here. When you are driving and you realize that you're making progress, but you're not where you're supposed to be, do you yank the wheel in order to get yourself back in the lane? No, you don't yank the wheel. Instead, you grab the wheel when you get over to the side, you hear the little right on the side of the road. When you start to hear that sound, do you yank the wheel to throw yourself back into the lane? No, that's dangerous, right? What do? We gently turn the wheel just a little bit to guide ourselves back to where we're supposed to be. Okay? So when we're thinking of managing our time well, we have to say to ourselves, self, am I racing like I'm behind? Now I feel like I want to do all the things. Now I feel like everything that Christina talked about on her live, I want to do all of them, right? I want to go and I talk about this with the conference too. Like we leave, we hear so many great ideas and so many options and all these things. Naturally, I'm supposed to go and do them all. I'm supposed to be I'm every woman once I leave. And everybody that I've talked to is like, okay, I'm settling home now. And I'm realizing next October is a long time away. The real work happens when we stay in this elevated mindset all year long. That's what produces faster results. And we're going to get to that in a second. But if I am going to make progress and get to where I'm supposed to be, it is far more proficient for me, instead of running, trying to catch the bus, to gently guide myself back into my lane where I'm supposed to be. So somebody might say, okay, I need to spend less time watching TV. This does not mean you have to throw your television away, right? It doesn't mean you need to throw your TV away. Instead, it means, you know what? I'm going to discipline myself that I'm going to watch my favorite show tonight at 8:30. Not all day long. And then be sad on Monday morning when you didn't show up like who you were supposed to be. Maybe, just maybe, we will guide ourselves accordingly so that we don't constantly feel like we're racing to catch up. See, everybody here's a mom. I put a post out earlier today yesterday, asking where the homeschooling moms were, right? And y'all came out of the woodworks. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even realize we had so many homeschooling moms in our tribe. What? I was like, hey, y'all, what's good? The idea of, now I have all of these facets of my life, and yes, sis, you are called to organize all of it. Part of that organization is your time. It's the reason we feel overwhelmed. It's the reason we feel behind, like we're running to catch the bus. It's the reason we feel like we need to micromanage everybody, because I'll just have to come behind you and do it again because you did it wrong. It is the idea like I need to do all the things instead of strategically choosing what I'm going to do, because it's going to get me there the fastest. It's going to get me there the fastest. I experienced a record-breaking October in my business. And it made me realize, and I was sharing with all of our ladies, good evening, everyone. I was sharing with our ladies in the group especially, was like, there were certain things that I had to make happen for the Momathon conference, right? For the Momathon conference, it was like, listen, ooh, this needs to happen. Let me go figure out how this is going to happen. Oh, this over here, in order for us to host 100 brilliant Black mamas from everywhere. You hear me? Everywhere. I ain't saying every state. I don't think there was anybody from Arizona or Colorado. It was like New Mexico probably wasn't there either. But it was mamas from all over the place. And I had to go down in here. Hi, Moxie. I had to go down in here. Thank you all. And pull something out that had never been pulled out before. And I had to say, okay, Christina, this is who you need to be in order to achieve this goal. I had to dig into my time. Is this lucrative or is it not? Is this fueling the mission or is it not? Because I needed a few things in order to make sure everything went like it was supposed to. I had my speakers, right? I had some brilliant women who bought plane tickets. I could back out if I tried. Hey, Regina, I could back out if I wanted to, just to make my life easy. Just to make my life easy, right? No, I don't want to. Nah, I don't feel like it. Y'all bought plane tickets. Lou said she put the conference information on her fridge. She was like, I'm going. Even during the pandemic, we still hosted the conference because ladies started messaging me and saying, we've been in the house with these children for 7 months. We are going somewhere. We're leaving and we're coming to Atlanta. I was like, well, I guess we're having a conference. And we did. And we got a ballroom like 3 times the size of what we needed. Okay. Stacy said you could have tried, but I still would have been in the A. Listen, we here. We don't know where you at, but come on, get this suite. Weren't we in our suite, Stacy? We were in the suite, and we were like, listen, we getting the thing, okay? We doing all the things. But here's what I want you all to hear and understand as we're talking about time management. I decided to drop off a myriad of things. There were people, because they saw the momentum that the event was building, and wait a second, like people are actually coming to this and all this kind of stuff. Like, you know, people have events all the time, but Stacy, who be going, girl? time. But they don't like, you see how we took that group photo of like 100 of us? We're on group photo, sis. Like, we want to show, even if it was 10 people, celebrate your 10. They don't be doing that because they have thoughts and feelings about that. I digress. So anyway, it was such an idea of, I have to leave off everything that is not fueling where we going. What needs to happen? Oh, I need to go get another sponsor. Bet. This is what needs to happen. I know how to pitch. Public relations and getting collaborations by the grace of God above is your girl superpower. We're gonna be teaching that in the mastermind this coming January. How do I send emails and get responses? One of our ladies, she was like, how did you get such and such organization here? She said, I've been emailing them. I was like, I emailed them on a Monday night. I got a response on Tuesday morning, right? Because we know how to position ourselves. It's a thing, right? Okay, so I'm about to go to these comments, baby. Hey, Janisha. G said, I'm not missing next year. I'm so tired of doing that. And my kids are adults and I'm still mommying. I need to know what to do. Girl, just stop mommying. We all trying to get where you are. I'm just messing with you. Okay, Moxie says, yep, my job won't let me use a leaf blower for the leaves without being in the union. Solution, instead of waiting to never get it, I bought my own and am using it tomorrow to happy leaf blower away. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's the idea of, I control my time, right? I control my energy. I do. I just do. And what if we're allowed to fill all of that up in the most endearing way possible, in the biggest way possible? I've been really leaning into you guys. Like, what does it look like for you to get exactly what you want? Like, how does that feel inside? How does that feel inside to hit a goal and to be like, oh my goodness, I really did that. Like, I soaked that in the whole first week of November. Girl, to have to step up and become the person that does that, right? So I want you guys to envision for me what that looks like for you in your schedule, in your energy, in your life. Like, what does that look like? What does it feel like? Okay. I've been live 30 minutes. It's almost that time. Number one, be aware of your body. What are your hormones doing? Is that time of the month coming? Are you wilding and hate your life because of that? Are you not operating or feeling like your healthiest self at this time? It's okay if you're not. Be aware of it, okay? If your knees are doing some things and you can't squat down to the floor and get back up, and when you go up the stairs, you out of breath. Okay, all right? Let's get it together. All right? Number two is time, being aware of your time. All right, where is it going? Am I using it wisely? Am I Netflix and chilling away the totality of my hours? Am I Instagramming away the totality of my hours? Am I ingesting more content than I am creating? Is the ratio balanced or is it off kilter? For example, I've been live for 30 minutes, right? I get to make the decision not to go and to go and just scroll through Instagram for another 3 hours before I go to bed. I've already put out my content into the world today. My value to the world, right? Let's just be aware of what's happening. Number three. This is so good. I want y'all to just enjoy this. The ladies who are at the conference heard a snippet of this, but I'm going to kind of just add a little bit onto it. Number three is be aware of your decision-making power. Be aware of your decision-making power, okay? You are allowed to make amazing decisions. You are allowed to make alterations to your life, to your schedule, to other things that are not causing you to sit stagnant. Okay? And a lot of times, and I've learned this so much through my own coaching, the idea of I get to choose what happens next. I get to choose what happens next. That's me. That's on me. I get to pick that. I'm in charge of the result that I'm going to create into the world. Even if your kids are like wilding right now, okay, they doing all the things and it driving you crazy. You're having all these feelings about it. You're frustrated. I'm even in control of that. My kids leave us up everywhere, act like they have no home training. Oh, baby, we know how to get that together real fast. Don't act like you don't know what to do. Got a couple of my clients who are working on their marriages, and I was like, listen, you know how to make him smile. Don't tell me you don't know. Don't tell me you forgot. I told one of my clients, I said, girl, you got about 4 kids out of that man. You know how to speak his language, right? You know how to get his attention. You know how to convey a message to him in a way that he'll respond to. Oh, I know you do. I said, baby, you giving him a lot of vinegar. Go give that man some sugar. I was like, take him out to dinner and pay. This is her husband, mind you. I said, take him out to dinner and pay. And be like, sugar daddy, I got it. And he'd be like, okay, all right. Like just doing these things because I'm in control of what happens next. Even if I'm only in control of how I think about it or my mindset surrounding it, I'm in control. And so one of my clients, I was so proud of her. She always comes to the call with like all these new like accomplishments. She's not watching tonight, but all these new accomplishments and sauce. And she's like, this is what I did. And this is where my mind is. And she's just so self-aware. I'm just loving like all the work that we're doing together. And she was like, this week, I really felt, what you were talking about with cycles. Okay. And I was like, well, what part about cycles? And y'all go with me. Hey, Moxie, I see this. The idea of cycles, how I'm gonna use a conference as an example. We leave the conference on level 10, excited, pumped up, ready. Okay. Pumped up and ready to do all the things and be I'm every woman, because that's just who we are. We were in a room full of brilliant women who were inspirational and $1 million businesses, multi 6-figure businesses, and all the sauce, and everybody loved God. And it was like a happy family reunion, and our brains are just on 10, right? We're so excited about everything that's happening. And then you come home to regular, real life, to a family who's like, we were waiting for you to come home and tell us what's for dinner. And you're like, well, wait a second. Like Christina told me, I'm a boss. I'm a baller. I can be anything I want to be. I don't really want to cook. Like, I don't really feel like that's for me in this season of my life, right? And we forget that our families need time, okay? So what happens is we get excited, pumped up after conference. We come home and we begin to slip into the cycle of, I'm back to my regular life. Maybe I'm still regular too. Like maybe what I heard was like this fluke. Maybe it wasn't really for me. It was just something that happened to hear. Like, all of these thoughts. We have these thoughts about this experience and we begin to slip into a cycle of, maybe it's not for me. Like, I know I had this experience. I know I learned this new lesson. I took this class. I went to this event. I heard this Facebook Live that opened my eyes, all of these things, right? We've been there in this place. But then if we didn't lean in, we will go into a cycle of, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe never mind. Good evening. No, thank you. Maybe this is too hard for me to do. That business might be too hard. Balancing the business with family, really hard. Balancing self-care, business, and family, whoa. Balancing self-care, mental health, business, family, managing your house, and homeschooling, white flag. White flag. Nope, don't want to do that no more. Right? And we go into this place of, you know what, maybe this is just too challenging. Like maybe I just need to try again next year. Maybe I just need to put it back on the shelf and see what happens at another time in my life. Maybe it's just not for right now while my kids are small. Maybe it's not for now while my children still live at home. Maybe it's not now because we're homeschooling. Maybe it's not now because of this. We have all of these reasons. That's the reason this community's here. Is because I'm a mom that does all the things and does it well. I'm a mom with a successful full-time business, right? I'm a mom who homeschools her children and has learned to delegate. I'm a mom who's still in love with her husband. I'm a mom that I always have laundry. I've learned to accept it. It's fine. Right? Like, but this community is here for that reason, because all of us are so multifaceted and doing so many different things. Of course, it's challenging. How do I find a better way? And I was so proud of my client today's Sunday last week, because she showed up to the call and she was like, I saw myself in the cycle. I saw the cycle you were talking about. I was like, did you? I said, tell me about it. She said, I could see my mind saying, man, this feels like a lot. I should just put this on the shelf for another season. I said, good. You recognize that. You saw that. I said, now let's figure out, how do we do less of the things that are not moving you to this very urgent, essential goal right now? Everything else, because since we've been working together, she's been collecting podcast interviews like crazy, pitching for media stuff, been getting yeses, like all this stuff happening really, really fast. And she's like, time out. And I was able to tell her, you make the decision of how fast you want this to go. And you make the decision about what's the priority for right now. You get to make that power play. Okay? Moxie said, my kids and others know I am quick to let messy go the opposite direction. Leave me be and go over there. That's all I'm saying. There's always laundry here. 7 people live here. I've just learned that it's going to be here forever. Okay? This is what it is. All right? It's the idea that you get to make the decision. I talked to one mama and I applauded her transparency. I challenged it, but she's not technically a client, right? So I couldn't go all the way into the jungle with her about this is why we think this and this is why we think that and all the things. But one of the things she decided, right? We were talking about coaching, and I was like, listen, this is what I do. This is what you're asking for. This is what you want to achieve. And she said, listen, she was being very honest. And raise your hand if you've ever felt like this. Like my title is productivity coach, right? It's productivity coaching. Like productivity coaching means you get more stuff done across the board, right? And bless her heart, my sis, she was like, I really don't want to do more. She said, I really don't want to do more, right? So I really don't. I want to do more. She just want to go sleep and see it. and everything will probably fall where it's supposed to fall after that. And I told her, I said, honestly, I'm a productivity coach, right? For working moms. And I told her, I was like, my definition of productivity might be different than yours. And I shared with her that for us here in this community, productivity coaching is defined as you helping to get more stuff done in relation to your identified goals. Somebody put in the chat, identified goals. Your identified goals. Your Moxie, Janisha, Stacy, Lude, y'all's identified goals. Judy said, I get that feeling. Productivity means I'm supposed to do more stuff. Y'all feel that way too? Yeah. I'm supposed to do more things. But productivity means the amount of output that is related to your identified goals. Number one, have you identified any goals in the first place? Do you have a vision in the first place? Do you know where you're going in the first place, right? Do we know what we want? Do we know what fulfillment feels like in our families in the first place? Do I know what love and rest and relaxation, all that kind of stuff, yes, Stacy, is in the first place? What does that feel like? Like, what are your identified goals? And is your life lining up to those goals? Or are you doing things that are not pushing you to the goal? So even when I was talking about time management, right? I was like, listen, this, and this are not helping me to meet this goal for October. I had people coming out of the woodworks. Oh, let's do a live together. Let's, can I interview you? Like, I was thank you so much. But right now I'm at capacity with preparing for our annual event. My identified goal right now is securing another sponsorship to do X, Y, and Z. Because I had ladies, right, who were lining up. They were ready to go. And I had to make sure I had all of my ducks in a row. That was my identified goal for October. And so many times, so often, we're doing things that are not in alignment with the goals you said you wanted. I don't come up with this stuff. Y'all hear me? I want everybody to lean into me and lean in real good. Every time. Everybody that I've had discovery call with, some of them have been just in the last couple of days. For everybody, we sit with what would a year from now amazingness look like for you? What would that look like? If you said, Christina, I did everything I said I was going to do in the last year, what would that look like? Tell me. And don't censor yourself while you say it. Say it with your chest that you want to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Say it with your chest. I don't come up with the goals. Y'all do. I don't come up with this stuff. I don't say, "Ooh, Stacy, you should go back to school. Ooh, Janisha, you should do this for your business. Oh, Lou, you should do." Y'all bring me the goal. We figure out the how. Right? Like, that's what we do. You brought the goal. You said you wanted this. You said it. It wasn't me. I didn't give you this. And maybe later we regret having said something, right? Maybe later on we're like, maybe did I really say that out loud? For many of the ladies who have never who've never really said it vocally, how they feel, how things are going, all this kind, like, what I do is I take notes while y'all are talking, right? So from the first call to the last one, no, I don't have to, but I want to know exactly what we talked about, what we said last week, what was it we were working on. If you had some thought errors or things that popped up, I'm like, oh, we can go back to this and coach on this some more and work through this. It's why y'all hit y'all goals so fast. Because I'm like, wait a second, this leaked out. Let's address this. And then I go back through reading to you what you said you wanted. You said you wanted this life. You said you wanted this business. You said you wanted this relationship with your husband. You said you wanted to stop yelling at your kids. You said you want to feel like you want to be organized and not doing all the stuff. You said you were overwhelmed. You said you were tired. You said this was a lofty, ambitious goal. I talk all the time about my audacious goal was being in Essence Magazine one time. We're about to have number 5 come out. Number 5, all about this one's gonna be all about the what? We're moving in the right direction. Identify a goal, baby. It's what we do here. But you get to identify those goals. You get to identify those goals, okay? You get to choose and decide where you're going with this thing. Okay? You are the one who determines what's coming next for you. You get to do that. That's not for me to do, right? And so often we get so caught up in how it's going to happen, what needs to happen, all of these extra things, right? Which are all on point. They're all true, very valid. Okay. But we get to make the decision because we have decision making power here. Decision making power. You get to decide the life you want. You get to decide how it's going to happen. You get to decide it. I told my client, I said, you control the pace. I was like, if you feel like we're moving too fast, you get to say, let's slow down. This is a lot. And then there are other days where she was like, oh, give it all to me. Like, I want all of it. This is not too much. Tell me more. But we had coached for like 2.5 months to where her capacity was enlarged so much. She was like, oh, okay, now I know that I can handle this. And when it feels like a lot, I get to tweak how fast things are coming in versus how fast I want them to. I get to determine what's most important right now. And I know I can trust her to go and do that work, right? I don't have to sit next to her and hold her hand. I can trust she's going to go and do that work. Okay? So as you are working through this whole process, number 1, be aware of your body. Number 2, be aware of your time. Number 3, be aware of your decision-making power. And I think tomorrow sometime I will do talking about the notes we took at the conference about decision-making. How do you know if it's right and all that kind of stuff? But just know that you can go into this week as is with an elevated level of awareness where I'm not sidelined by these extra thoughts, right? I'm feeling some kind of way. Oh my gosh, like I'm so angry at my family. I feel like I'm boiling inside. Girl, that's just your cycle. It's okay. Are you feeling healthy? Are you feeling vibrant? Are you feeling rested? Are you feeling all of these things? Or do you feel like you're depleted on a consistent basis? Okay. Being aware of the power you have to control the pace, right? I sent out an email the other day and it was a little, let me see if I can find it. And I'm gonna read y'all what this email said because it was really good and it was just fun, right? It was a joy to write. And I put it to all of you guys. I said, listen, it is okay if you are inconsistent. It's okay if you are inconsistent. It's actually okay if you don't want to put your energy into it. Some of you guys said, Christina, it's been a long year. I want to, and listen, our 3 points are done. We got your body, we got your time management, we got your decision-making power, okay? You're in control and you can be aware of all of those things, all right? So then leading into the next thing, I was like, okay, Christina, it's okay if they don't want to. It is okay if you don't feel like doing it. It's okay if you are tired and you don't want to put any more energy into it. Remember, productivity is in alignment with your goals, not my goals. Not my goals, yours. It's what you say you want. So it's okay if you want to jump in this thing this week, work on that business this week, skip a little bit out to next week. Some of y'all get in a cycle, this moody cycle, and we feel overwhelmed. So we put our ideas, our visions, these big things on the shelf for days, weeks, months. Okay? We put them on the shelf for all that time. So it's okay if you don't want to put your energy into it. You're allowed. It's okay if your goals take longer than you want them to. They're your goals. It's okay if you're fine with your current level of success. If you feel like this is as good as it gets, if that's how you're feeling right now, like, oh my gosh, my life is so great, I'm chilling, I'm good, right? You feel like that? Who am I to argue with you? Who am I to debate you on your life, right? We're not here to talk you out of that philosophy or that belief. It's okay if you just kind of do it, as far as I'm concerned. But I put in the email, I said, but the real question you want to know is, am I okay with operating under my potential? because I haven't taken the time to master this challenge? Am I okay with operating under my potential because I haven't taken the time to master this? And do I want to spend the next year, 3 years, 5 years being bothered by this same issue? Some of us are waiting to pursue a certain goal or work on something specific until the kids leave, until this happens, until that happens, right? Some of us are waiting on all of these things. We're hoping, we're praying, we're looking for the next open door, the next possibility, right? All of that. We're just got our fingers crossed. Okay? And so what we end up doing is we will fail. Hey, I was about to tag you. We fail to show up like we're supposed to because we've let down on what's really essential. Okay, so I was telling y'all, listen, it's okay if you're fine with your current. It's okay if you're late. Still here for the good stuff. I promise I'll do a wrap up. Okay. It's okay if you're inconsistent, you're struggling through that. It's okay if you have this much energy left and you don't want to put any more into it. Like my sis, she wanted to discuss coaching and her goals, and she was like, you know what? I just ain't got it right now. Like I don't want to. I just want to go to sleep. I said, okay, that might be her goal. Is it just take a nap? Right? Okay. It's okay to be content with your current level of success. If you're like, okay, I love my life right now. This is as good as I believe it gets. Right? And I'm like, the real question is, do I feel like I'm tapping into my highest potential? Like I'm the coach for the other women, right? The women who want to be present with their husbands and their children. I am the coach for the mom who homeschools. I'm the coach for the mom who homeschools and works. I'm the coach for the mom who works and has a business and does this and all these things. And you're trying to figure out, how does this streamline and work together? And some of you guys are like, oh, the way I'm doing it is fine. There are some others of us that post constantly about, this is not working. I feel overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. I feel like I'm micromanaging. I'm doing all the things. Christina, did not want to work with being in that same situation until my kids went to college. That's what I wanted. I wanted something different. I didn't want to be irritated or frustrated by the same things over and over again until my kids left home. Okay. And so I also wanted to feel good about building this movement, this community of women. I knew it was something that was bigger than me. I knew it was. And I was like, I cannot do that and be drowning. I cannot operate a community, right? And I didn't learn how to master collaborations and partnerships and all these other things to make sure it was lucrative, right? I had to make sure I was doing that. And so I refused to do that and it be to my deficit. I refuse to be a present mom, and me feeling like being a present mom is me doing everything for everybody. Nope. I wanted to have a life that I loved. The work I do matters. I have the best job because I work with all of y'all. And we laugh on the Zoom and we strategic plan and we solve problems and we go forth like, oh, girl, you got this. It's just, oh, that's so simple because I've done it before. Oh, this is all you got to do. Right? As we're balancing family and kids and teaching them and working and starting businesses and all these things, managing your household and learn to delegate. And it can be a lot. I see y'all posting. Okay. And so what I had to do for myself was remember, the world is okay. The world is okay if you don't operate at your highest potential. The world will be fine. Because when they're looking for somebody to be an expert in that area, when they're looking for somebody who's a thought leader, when they're looking for somebody who can show up, be more consistent, offer value, teach well, know their stuff, all these things, when they're looking for people to give opportunities to, They're going to give it to the person that has the track record of wins. They're going to give it to the person who shows up and says, hey, you know what? I've been doing this for this many years. Do you want to collaborate? Okay. And I'm saying that I do every single night as I was planning the conference. I was going to bed at 9 o'clock, 9:30. I was working hard throughout the day, utilizing my time well. And then it was time to go to bed. I crawled up and laid on my chocolate bearded husband. And I was chilling. I wasn't even live a whole lot. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I'm producing something that's bigger than me. I need to go to sleep. And sleep is absolutely self-care. Right? But I knew inside, in here, and in here, right? Like the prize, Janisha was talking about grants, the opportunity, the open door goes to the person who is ready. That's who it goes to. It goes to the person that's ready. It don't go to the person who posted last week and then they gonna do it again in 2 months. It goes to the person who has a track record of wins. And a lot of us, we are taking longer to reach our goals because we're overwhelmed, which leads to inconsistency, which leads to frustration with ourselves. We shame ourselves. We feel like this is too hard. Then we go share that post about being an overwhelmed, overstimulated mother. I've seen that post. I see y'all sharing it. This is just not the life. It's not something you have to do. Stacey says we need to keep the oil in our lamps. Like what's happening? Right? Here's the opportunity goes to the person who has the track record of wins. And I shared this at the conference. One of our sponsors who sponsored thousands of dollars, right? I'm also part of their fellowship program, right? Where this is not a free fellowship. I'm not a volunteer ambassador. Everybody got me? Y'all got me? Yeah. I'm not a volunteer ambassador for this organization. Okay. I'm not a volunteer. Everybody got that? All right. I had a conversation with them and they told me, and I shared this at the conference. They told me, listen, we would rather fund you who's already doing the existing work of gathering women and financial empowerment and entrepreneurship and leadership and how to be a thought leader and how not to be overwhelmed while you change the world and you start your nonprofit and you write that book and all this stuff that we do here in this community. How to operate in a straight line instead of zigzagging all over the place or trying to run ahead to catch the bus because you feel like you're behind. That's what we do here, right? He said we will much rather fund you who's already doing the existing work than for us to try to recreate the wheel ourselves. This is a mostly not BIPOC, not Black, not minority funded, driven organization. They're like, but we want to connect with moms of color. We want them to know about how we support them on a legal standpoint. Because you're already gathering women, because you already facilitate talks for homeschooling or leadership or entrepreneurship or family management or all this stuff, you're already doing this. We've been doing it for like 10 years, right? Before Facebook was like a thing. We were showing up on live. But because we were doing that work, they were like, listen, we would rather fund this existing project. Okay? So what ends up happening is the opportunity goes to the person who is ready. The opportunity goes to the person who has mastered telling their story. The opportunity goes to the person who knows how to explain their value, who knows how to share their work, who knows how they are actively changing the world. See, I know every time I show up here, there's going to be somebody that grabs what I said and runs with it. There's going to be somebody else who says, that's my person, that's my coach, let me get myself together, let's go to work. There's going to be somebody else that says, Christina's done Essence 5 times in a year and a half. I bet I can do it once. Somebody's going to grab a hold of what I'm saying and you're going to run with it. But rest assured, it's okay. I love consultancy. Somebody's going to say, you know what? I just don't feel like it today. You know what? I just, I don't have the energy. I'm protecting my energy. Y'all know the stuff y'all say. What's some other stuff y'all say in the comments? Go and put it down there. Right? Stacy, we love talking about rest as a form of self-care and a necessity. But some of us resting on the day that we ain't supposed to be resting. I see y'all. Right? Some of us, we go take a nap in order to avoid doing what we really supposed to be doing. I see it. Then we wake up and say, we don't have no time. And so a lot of us, we haven't yet mastered overcoming these specific challenges. Yeah. Oh, this is so good. Is it Tardani? Is it Tardane? Is it Tardani? Give me phonetic spelling in the comments, please, so I can say your name correctly. Okay. So she says, it'll be there tomorrow, is a saying that we say, right? Stacy chimed in and said, too rested is a thing too. Because some of us, we're like, you know what? Soft life. Soft life. It's my thing, right? I'm just pursuing, just anything that feels hard, anything that takes my energy. If it takes my peace, it's just not for me. And y'all miss out on all these great opportunities to be who you say you want to be. Tardani, is that it? Everyone calls me Domino. I got that, babe. That's fly. It makes you sound like a hustler. Come on, Domino. All right. That is so dope. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the tribe. Hit the notifications on all our stuff. Okay? Janice said, I'm going to wait until I get the money. Then I can do it. Not thinking that there's like 5 things that I might have said on this live already that somebody could go and do. Right? There are a couple ladies that I talked to. I was like, okay, so funds are tight. Here's how you go and fix that. What do you need to do if you need to come up with what we going to do? And then we kind of like sit there for a second and spiral a little bit, right? And then we get our minds start working on how we're going to create results. How we're going to do it. How we're going to change it. Okay? So we got to think about all of these things together as a component of securing our futures. Okay? How are you going to do it, mama? How are you going to change your life? How are you going to create something that is a lasting ripple effect that's going to change the world? How are you going to step into these upcoming opportunities because you're ready? Okay? Because if you can't paint the picture of that value, if you can't paint the picture of listen, this is what our community brings, this is what my mission emphasizes, this is what I do as a person, like all of that. If you don't know how to master telling that story, they're not going to bother to look you up. They're not going to bother to say, hey, you know what? Let's see if she's it. They're not going to bother Googling. They're not going to look for any social proof. They're just going to move on to the next person who does have the track record of wins. Who does have that? And what we don't want to do is miss any opportunities because we are overwhelmed or unready or unclear. Okay? I don't want to lose any opportunities this year because I feel like, I'm already under so much right now. No, I want my capacity to feel like she ready. She ready. When y'all call me, baby, we ready to hit it. This is what you need. Oh, we absolutely have that. One of our partners was asking me about like connections to some folks at Essence or other things. I was like, I might know people, right? So let me see it. Let me ping them and see about this idea that you have and that idea and this right here and see what their thoughts are, right? At one point in time, I wouldn't be able to do that. But now I can. Okay. All right. So Domino, I love that. She says, that was the question for me 10 years ago for the business. It's now the question for the second stage of my homeschool program. I love that so much. We love our homeschool moms here. I've been homeschooling since my oldest son was in kindergarten, and it has been quite the fun ride. Okay. I say all that to say this, that the goal here in this community is for you to have the resources you need, the tools you need to compile all of this work together, along with these audacious and amazing goals that you have. Like, we are ingrained in ourselves to dream, but to dream with censorship, to dream based off of the capacity, or to set goals based off of our current capacity, instead of setting goals based off of, this is what I want my life to be. Y'all get me? So you might say to one person, okay, I want to, I don't know, I'm tossing a number out, make $2,000 a month in my business, right? And your audacious goal is 10,000, right? But it's so much more comfortable to say 2 or 3 or 5 than it is to say, oh, 10. Here you go. Right? That's gonna be scarier for me. And I talk a lot about this because it was a very tangible goal that I had. Was, oh, I want to do X. I had to start talking about it, and everybody who was kicking it with me in 2021, I just started talking about it. Didn't I? I had to say it out loud to y'all so that you guys could see it as it was happening. Wait a second. Christina said she was going to do it. There it is. Oh, look, she said she was going to do this right here. There it is. Oh, look, here's something about the conference. She said 100 people was going to be there. There they go. Right? Like, we had to be able to execute it and to do it with intention. It's what we do. Okay. So Stacy says, I love it here. I'm glad you're here. She said, since my return from the conference, my VA team and bookkeeper are loving the clarity and vision for my brand. I love it. And we just getting started. You hear me? Oh, we just getting started. Because it's just what we do here. It's like, okay, how big can I think about this? How big can I take this? What would that look like? Like, some things are unfolding this year that I'm like, oh, snap. Like, I'm doing like that dance. I'm like, baby, guess what? Guess what they're going to pay me to do? I was sharing with one of our ladies the other day, and I was like, every goal we set, we achieve. It's okay, Domino. We're going to have another one. Okay, so DM me your email after this so you're on the list for all the good stuff. I feel like I need to toss out like a homeschooling conference, because we had like 40 ladies come in and say they're homeschoolers. So that's dope. I feel like we might do a homeschooling summit of some kind, and let's just see what else we can come up with to just add value to you guys. So anyway, it's the idea of planning something ahead of time, seeing it big, okay, and then building the bridge from where you are over to this other side. Okay, that's the fun stuff. It's like, first, I just need you to tell me what you want. And then together, we're going to sit down and creatively unpack what needs to happen in order to execute it. Okay, so here are the 2 things that we have coming up. I've been on here way too long, but y'all been kicking it with me, and I love it. All right, so here are the 2 things we have coming up. Number 1 is the Momathon Mastermind. Okay. The mastermind is ideal for women leaders, women with families. We may have a woman or 2 that's not a mom yet, who are interested, but it's ideal for women leaders who have businesses, who are balancing a multifaceted, multifunctional existence. You're like, Christina, I'm doing all the things. My plan is for us to like lose 15 pounds together and create some very tangible goals. I'm going to be coaching you guys weekly, and you still get like a one-to-one personal touch as well. But the goal of the mastermind is to provide support. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Support, accountability, strategic planning, vision casting, connecting the dots between where you are and this amazing destination that you see, right? And then you guys being able to work through some of the challenges and hurdles here and here in order to see those goals come to life in the real world. Okay. What we do is we create goals you can see. I am all for somebody speaking into your life. I am all for this whole sit down and just to see it in your brain. I'm all for it, honey. But I wanted to jump out of my brain and into real life. I wanted to open up the Essence magazine to see my name in there. I wanted to see my name. That's what I wanted. Christina. I don't know what you want. Some of you guys have shared it. I don't know the full plethora of the amazing goals that you have planned for the world. I don't know. Right? But to be someone who takes action on those things, you take a word, you learn to implement it, and you actually see the results from it. Like one of my clients, she's like, I got to turn down podcast interviews. Now I got to turn down this other kind of interview, this other kind of partnership, so I can focus on this one goal I said I wanted. I said, okay, we can turn it off. Reschedule them till January. They'll still be there. But we get to turn on the faucet of abundance and opportunity. We create our opportunities. We create platforms. We create open doors. We create windows. It's what we do here. While still being present with our families, while still loving each other well, while still taking care of ourselves, while still being rested, while not doing everything, while not micromanaging. This is the work we do here. Because you'll log off for this live and you're going to be excited. You'll be like, yes, Christina, let's do it, right? The real work is staying at that elevated mindset from now until Domino gets to pull up for the next conference, right? Keeping this elevated mind now all the way through to the finish line until we can get it back up again. Learn how to manage your own mind well. So when you have these moments or you go into the cycle, you know how to snatch yourself back out. When you start to feel overwhelmed, you know how to do an analysis of why. When you're up against a big decision, you don't have to call everybody to ask them what you should do. It is the intentional work internally of being able to say, I trust myself. I know I'm moving in the right direction. I know this is it. I know it's for me. Now I just get to sew together, okay, everything that needs to happen in order to see it come to life. Okay, so that's going to be the work we're doing from January 2024 all the way through Mother's Day. Okay, it is a fraction of the investment for my 6-month coaching. Okay, it's a fraction of the investment, like less than half. Right? So for those of us who are in more of a startup mode, for those of us who are like, Christina, I don't know about that 6 months yet. Christina, I have the option here for you. I got the option here for you. Right? So the only thing holding you back is, I don't know, you can insert your thing. Okay? Whatever your thing is, you can stick it in there. Okay? But it is available to you to work together in a container that supports you. Our women are the absolute best. You hear me there like, ain't nobody better. And to be able to do that work consistently over the course of months so that every single week you're getting facilitators who are going to challenge you, who are going to ask you big questions, who are going to make you think twice so that you can grab yourself and race ahead to be who you said you want to be. Okay, so the mastermind is available to you guys. That is number one. Number two, which I am very surprised about, you guys. I've talked to multiple ladies who were like, but I still want the 6-month coaching. And I was like, really? Like, I just knew y'all were going to be. They're like, I like the idea of the mastermind, but I really want the 6 months of coaching. I said, well, if you do 6 months of coaching, you can also join the mastermind. Okay. You get 2 for 2 if that's something that someone wants to do. And so if you are interested in working one-to-one with a coach, these are your 2 options going into the new year. Okay. You got 2 options. How many? 2. If you still want to work with somebody one-on-one to work through your personal pitches, and Lou said both she one of them. Who like, no, I still want to meet every week. Us. You can come and teach everybody too. right? But I want you to look at my stuff. I said, okay. And Luz, you were not the only person. It was a couple of y'all. Thank you for keeping notes, Janisha. It was a couple folks. I was like, oh, I was like, I'm not quitting one-to-one coaching. Like, I still have clients, right? And so, anyway, that's also available to you for those ladies who are like, Christina, I want to lean in. And figure out what would it look like for us to work together going into the new year, like the first half of the year in a one-to-one fashion. Okay. So there's some ladies who are like, girl, the mastermind sound good, but I want you to look at my stuff. I want you to talk about my life. I want you to talk about my husband. I want you to talk about my raggedy kids. I want to know all the stuff. And so for those ladies who maybe you have a lot of layers to this thing, and you're like, I still want to partner with somebody who, who values what I value, who loves the Lord and loves her family and has had to work through similar challenges and are some years and steps ahead. And I know you can help me get there. Okay. Y'all can go Google me, go Google Christina Garrett and Momathon. You can Google Christina Garrett Momathon Essence Magazine. You can Google Christina Garrett Forbes, Christina Garrett Fox News, Christina Garrett Yahoo Parenting. You can go look them all up. Okay. And you'll be able to see some very tangible expressions of commitment that we have to this work. Okay. So either one of those are for you. The mastermind, if you're interested in joining, I want you to DM me mastermind. Yes, you can do a payment. If it's for you, it's for you. If you want to do a payment, that's fine. I would much rather have you there than not. Okay, that's number one. The mastermind is available to all of you. And number two, 6 months of coaching is also available. Okay, so if you want someone to work with you, we're going to talk through what's going on in here and in here. We're going to talk about your business and your family, how they're all fitting together into this crazy loop. We're going to talk about your cycles and how to make more money and take more naps and all that kind of stuff. That's what we do here in this community. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to join the mastermind, DM me mastermind. If you want both and, DM me both and. Thank you, Lou, for the inspiration. Okay. And then we'll go from there. All right. We'll set up a time to talk, you and I, to hear about your goals, to hear about what you're working on, how we can turn up the heat and help you get there twice as fast. Okay. That's it for tonight. I'm about to go lay on my couch. It's 9:30. I have been live for an hour and some change. It's been a long time since I've been live this long. It's been a long time, but it was so good. Thank you guys for joining me. If you have not been told yet today, you are remarkable. You are special. Girl, you fine too. Your family is lucky. They are blessed to have you as the matriarch of their family, of their home. And I believe in you. I believe in your capacity to show up for yourself. I believe in your ability to organize and streamline. I believe in your resourcefulness to create amazing things. I believe that you can conquer everything that you come up with. I believe you can do it. I just do. I put the other day on Facebook, I was like, what coach doesn't believe in their clients? I'm sure there's somebody out there. But that was one of the things we had to do some serious work on, was you have to believe in their resourcefulness to be that person. Otherwise, don't offer them coaching. Otherwise, don't offer them coaching. Don't offer to help them if you don't believe that they can. And so I, as a Black homeschooling Domino, I'm from DC. Hey, girl. You my people. Mm-hmm. If I didn't believe in you all's ability to do it, to show up for yourself, to get the results you want, even if you ain't got to show up every day or however, like finding the fastest way to get it, like all this kind of stuff to go after the goal, how to be successful and keep your marriage together. All of these things, like Stacey, I think I'm even going to bring my husband in to teach on the mastermind. That's going to be fun. He might have to be a guest facilitator to talk about like being successful in marriage. That is going to be so good. So good. Anyway, but I just believe in you all's capacity to be great and to be large and to be rested and to make more money and to not have to ask your husband to get your nails done and just all of these things. Like all of this stuff, like we just honor that beast inside of you who is capable and resourceful. I will close with this statement, and you guys can share it somewhere and tag me, okay? I told some of our ladies, I said, women create babies. We create warm home atmospheres. We also can create abundance and money. We can also do that too. So you might have a business or something. It's like, what am I doing with this? Is now the time? Like all this stuff. But you also can turn it into something that feeds you, literally and figuratively. So you popped out a human out of nothing, right? You walk through your home when you're not right, the house isn't right. You create these warm atmospheres. You change this intangible energy in your home. You do that. And somehow, when it comes to creating tangible results that show up in the world, that's where we have doubt. That's where we have doubt. And that's okay. We're working on that. Okay. So, anyway, that's it for tonight, everybody. You guys come and make sure you hit the notification bell for when I go live. I'm going to be doing it more often. We'll probably go back into Take the Day Off by Robert Morris and find some other great books to facilitate conversation around, especially as we lead up to the mastermind in January. Okay. So, if you want to be a part of our upcoming group, DM me mastermind. And if you want to do both, and like some of my very fancy clients, okay, they're a little fancy and selfish. If you want to do 6 months of coaching and the mastermind, then I would love to have you as a one-on-one client. Okay, that's it, y'all. I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow-ish. Okay.